Hi, my name is Santhosh Paulus. I'm going to share a little bit of my story. Everyone's got a story. I came to know Christ at a pretty young age. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I just remember it was a cold winter day in Chicago, and I'm the youngest of 3 boys, and I have one older brother who's 3 years older and another one that's 10 years older. And as boys often do, we were fighting and just kind of like being naughty and running around the house, kind of making a little bit of just a racket. And I just remember my oldest brother just pulling me aside and just sharing the gospel with me in a very simple way, as much as a 4-year-old could understand. And he was just talking about explained what sin was and how when we're fighting and arguing, how that's sin and how that separates us from God. And I just remember at a very young age, I knew I did something wrong and that I needed help. And I just remember just praying with my brother, and he led me to Christ at that young age. I put my faith in Christ and started that journey. But I was pretty young, so I can't say my life changed a whole lot from before and after at that point. And I just remember one of my youth leaders, she was very authentic in her faith and very genuine in her faith, and I really wanted that. And so I rededicated my life to Christ, and that's when I felt like things really started to change for me at that point. And I remember my brother, he didn't go on that trip, and for months I would give him a hard time that, I got a chance to go and that he didn't get to go. And then one of the Sunday school teachers pulled me aside and he said, "Do you know who paid for you to go for that trip?" And I was like, I have no idea. And he said, "You need to stop giving your brother such a hard time. He's the one that paid for you to go." So both my brothers had a role to play in my faith journey, and just for me becoming who I am today. God, through His Word, has really changed and transformed me as well. I love to bike, and I just really wanted to do a fundraiser for Know Me Network. And the idea was I was looking for some people to bike with me across the country. What I didn't know was that in the process of training that I would get diagnosed with a heart condition and ended up needing to get a defibrillator. And so that was a big, obvious kind of change in direction of where I thought things were heading and where I was going. And Jack Crabtree and Jerry Sullivan, they both really spoke into my heart, into my life, just breathing a lot of truth. He was just reminding me that our lives are like a story that's being written, and I just didn't realize it, but a new chapter was starting. There was an event that I went to with my family, with Raj and the girls. It was up in New Hampshire, Soul Fest, and it's a music festival, and we had the opportunity from the stage to hear from an organization that was in the Boston area where they talked about human trafficking that was occurring in the Boston area. This was back in 2012, and I was honestly taken aback as to what was happening here in our own country and just so close to New York. Just was very naive and just didn't realize that was going on in our own backyard. And while they were speaking from the stage, my 4 girls at that time, I think they were between the ages of like 8 and 14 at the time. And God just really, my heart was really wrecked just hearing what was happening from the stage and hearing what they were saying. Having my girls in my line of sight, I could just tell I was a little bit just shooken to the core, and I just knew something was gonna happen because of that, and that I needed to be a part of the solution. I had no idea what was coming and how or what we were gonna do, but that was the start of that seed kind of getting planted in my heart to want to do something about addressing the evil of human trafficking. I felt like God clearly spoke to me and He gave me a new psalm. So Psalm 73 was the psalm that God gave me that really helped me to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so when you look to God and you focus on Him, it helps you to kind of center you and ground you and help you to realize that you're not doing this on your own, that He is seeing everything that's going on and He is going to take care of things. He's going to bring about righteousness and justice, and it takes that pressure off of ourselves. We We have the privilege of joining him in that work, but we don't have to figure things out on our own.